Hi, this is Cape Chronicle. I'm Jacob McClellan. The Cape Girardeau Police Department has several ongoing programs to help educate the public about public safety. They're also becoming more and more involved in the use of technology in police work. I'm joined now by Cape Girardeau Police Chief Carl Kinnison and Captain Jack Wimp. Thank you so much for coming by to talk with us.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure.
Well, the first thing I want to talk about right now is the Citizens Police Academy as well as Neighborhood Watch programs. Are these both part of kind of the same thing, or are they separate and different?
Well, they're somewhat different. The Citizens Police Academy is something a program that we've had for a little over 10 years now. And it's one of the opportunities that we try to engage in an effort to keep our citizens informed about law enforcement operations. It literally, it's an 8-week program where citizens can come in and literally see what police operations are like, kind of behind the scenes. It allows us the opportunity to provide some insight into the person that's behind the badge, but also some of the legal constraints that we face on a day-to-day basis, some of the policies and the procedures that we have to work within. We oftentimes, there are citizens that are confused as to why we can't do something. They'll call us and say they think we have a drug house down the block. How come we can't go in and stop them? So it's good to be able to educate them, to inform them, and also create a relationship, a positive relationship with those folks as well.
And what we do is we bring our officers in that are assigned to specific areas, and they talk about what they do, traffic, narcotics, and stuff like that. So kind of like what the chief says, we get the community involved, and it's a good program for us to build that relationship with our citizens.
Now, what exactly is the Cape Girardeau Neighborhood Watch program? How's that program work?
Yeah, there's actually 2 components to the Neighborhood Watch program, and again, that's something that we've been involved in for, 20 years or so now. But it's really designed to educate the citizens but it's on a different format, a different level, so to speak. We're going out to their neighborhoods or to their homes, and we're doing 2 things. One, we're educating them. We try to educate them on what they can do to prevent criminal activity from occurring within their neighborhood, or from occurring if they're out traveling, whether they're by themselves or with other folks. And then we also try to encourage them to keep an eye out in their neighborhood so that if they get up in the middle of the night, or if they're driving in late, or through the course of the day, if they see something that looks a little bit unusual, to pick up the phone and call us. And one of the things that we really try to stress is that we ask them to trust their instincts. So if they see somebody that's in the neighborhood, see a vehicle that just doesn't fit, to let us know. The people that live within their neighborhood obviously know their neighborhood better than anyone does. An officer may be able to drive down that neighborhood and may see somebody walking down through the course of the day and may not think it's unusual at all, but somebody who lives there says that, I've never seen that person there before, and realizes that it could be something suspicious. So we ask them to kind of monitor the neighborhood, keep an eye on what's going on, to call us if they see something. But then again, it involves that training on what they can do to prevent themselves or their homes or their property from being victimized by crime.
And while obviously Neighborhood Watch programs have been getting some attention recently with the Trayvon Martin shooting in Florida, how does the Cape Girardeau Neighborhood Watch program differ from that one that's been getting a lot of attention down there in Florida?
Yeah, that certainly was an unfortunate situation. But we have never had any kind of neighborhood patrols or foot patrols or car patrols. Neighborhood Watch programs vary, in different parts of the country and from city to city. But we have always asked the citizens in our community to call us if they see something unusual, to give us a call, not to approach anyone, not to take the law, so to speak, in their own hands, but to call us and alert us to the suspicious activity that they've noted.
Now, something that's been gathering a lot of attention here recently in Cape Girardeau is urban deer hunting, and the possibility of urban deer hunting, but also feeding deer. Where are we? How is this looking moving forward right now with the urban deer hunting ordinances?
Yeah, actually, the issue was brought up a couple of years ago. There doesn't seem to be a question that the deer population has been increasing, and the question really lies in how do you manage that? How do you handle that? A committee was established several months ago to take a look at that, to look at different options, to get public input. And as you can imagine, there are people who are passionate on both sides of the issue. You have the deer that are destroying plants, vegetation, landscaping, yards, and so forth, and from our perspective that are being involved in accidents. And then you have folks who kind of on the other side who really don't want to tamper with the deer, certainly don't want to kill them. But the research that the committee conducted suggested that really the most effective way of managing that wildlife population was to either hunt or to euthanize, to remove them from the community. While that still is being debated, one of the things that seems to be agreeable on all sides is an ordinance that prevents people from feeding the deer, attracting them to their yards, attracting them to their property. And in fact, we're getting ready to propose a similar ordinance to one of the St. Louis municipalities that they have in the St. Louis area that will be given to the council at the next council meeting to discuss.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about technology in police work. I know that a lot of the Cape Girardeau police squad cars now have laptops in them. How do these laptops? And what other kind of technologies does that bring along? Things such as electronic ticketing or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one option that's on the table?
Sure it is. With the implementation of the laptops, and we're hoping to fully implement the laptops within all of our patrol cars, patrol and traffic cars, within the next 12 months. It opens up us to a number of other technologies, one being the electronic ticketing, where an officer is able to, when they stop a vehicle for let's say a speeding violation, they'll be able to take the driver's license of the driver and they can simply scan it. The data on the driver's license is then moved over into the ticket. They can run the license plate number, and then all that data is brought over into the ticket, and then the officer indicates what charge it is, and then simply takes it up and hands it to the driver. And not only is it more efficient for the officer that's actually writing the ticket, but then the databases like the records management system within our police department as well as the court system is updated automatically as well. So it really speeds up the process. It expedites and makes us more efficient.
And how about for identification, things like retinal scanning, for instance, or facial recognition? Are these things that are on the horizon here?
Yeah, one of the emerging technologies in law enforcement is both retinal scanning and facial recognition. The facial recognition, we actually have a computer system that's designed for facial recognition that we received grant money through the Missouri Sheriff's Association for. So we're working with that technology now. Currently, they're working at building the database for the facial recognition. So if we get a picture of a suspect in a robbery, for example, we can take that picture, run it through the database, and see if there are any matches to that particular person.
Now, we're going to turn our attention towards the facilities. Captain Wimp, when was the Cape Girardeau Police Headquarters, when was that originally built?
It was built in 1975.
And how many officers and how many staff members, which would be a better way to say it, how many staff members were working there at the time?
There was approximately 60 employees working in that building, and I believe at the time the building was built, it was pretty well all occupied at that time. Currently we have about 95 people working in or hired at the police department, civilian and officers. So we've expanded quite a bit as far as employees in those years.
And I guess to make up some of that room, there's now a mobile unit behind the headquarters that houses how many staff members?
It's a modular building, and it's on the north side of the police station, and there's approximately 22 employees working out of that building, out of that modular unit.
Okay. How has police work changed just generally since 1975 when this building was built?
How has it changed?
Police work. I mean, I'm sure that how have the demands changed during that time?
Well, the core principles of policing are still pretty much the same. It's always investigating criminal incidents and trying to identify the suspects and charge them and then put them in jail. But the demands have increased over the years. We're responsible for traffic safety, accident investigations. Our calls for service have continued to go up. Last year we had over 50,000 calls for service, which, we were a very, very busy police department. With the annexations that the city has been involved in, the interstate, it's 12 miles north and south, but you would be surprised at how busy we stay working accidents and working incidents that occur just on the interstate.
Is this the only police station in Cape Girardeau?
It is. We used to have a satellite facility, kind of a substation, so to speak, but we've never really had an operational precinct. And I don't know that we're large enough for an actual precinct, but it would be nice on the west or the northwest side of the community at some point to have a satellite facility where we could have a holding room and an officer work area where we could book and process individuals that we and take complaints, from that side of town.
You know, recently we went over to the police station and we shot some video, and I think we're gonna go ahead and show that right now. Just kind of get an inside look at the police station here, Captain Wimp.
Yes, this is our station commander area. The officer, or the gentleman there, is a civilian employee, but he manages the station commander. Any complaints that come into the building, he answers the phone. Right there, we're in the booking area. We have remodeled some of the police station, made it more secure. Those are holding rooms. We've remodeled them. You can see the cameras in those little brown boxes there where we can watch and see what's going on, make sure no one is injuring themselves or trying to injure themselves or assaulting someone else. This is a part of the holding cell also, where we can secure people if they're combative or whatever. We can handcuff them or restrain them inside there to keep them safe and keep our officers safe. We've done quite a bit of remodeling there in the police station. This is in the upstairs interview rooms. They're small. We had 2 interview rooms upstairs. If we had an incident where there were multiple people that need to be interviewed, we did not have those interview rooms. We made 2 more interview rooms downstairs in where the old communications unit used to be, and so we don't have to take people out of their offices that are working to take people in to interview them. This is our records division area, and as you can see, there's several boxes of reports that need to be microfished or laser fished, and they're just sitting there waiting. I think we're about 5 or 6 years behind. We haven't had the personnel to do that. This is the well, it looks like spaghetti there, but it's a bunch of wires. It's our phone wires and stuff that we need to get fixed. We just don't have the capability to do that right now. We had some water leakage on the roof, and I think we've got it replaced. We just haven't had time to replace those ceiling tiles and stuff. So it's a work in progress. The building, like I said, was built in 1975, and it needs some improvement.
You said that those ceiling repairs have been made, though.
The roof repairs have been made. Yes.
I see. Now, this is down here in the basement, am I correct?
Yes, that is correct. That's the basement, and we store some of our records down there that we haven't had time to microfilm or microfiche. This is our laundry facility for the jail. We can hold 29 inmates in there. We provide them with uniforms, pants and shirt. We have to clean those. Some of the inmates that are out on community service go out to the recycling center. It's pretty bad down there as far as getting dirty and stuff, so we have to clean their uniforms and stuff. And we just have one, well, it's a commercial, but it's not really a commercial, one washer and one dryer to do uniforms and quilts and sheet and for the inmates there. This is our locker room upstairs, and basically, I mean, we use it kind of as a storage room, but we do the best we can with what we have. And we're getting ready to go into the jail. Like I said, we have 29 inmates in there, or we can house up to 29 inmates. The washer and dryer are outside the jail. It'd be nice if we had some way to move those inside the jail. That way we could do it in there, but we don't have the water lines running in there. This is the padded cell. If we bring someone in that is combative or so, we put them in there, and they can't injure themselves. And actually, it's right next door to my office, and the shower is right next door to my office. So when they're beating and banging, I can hear that. That is the area where the water lines and stuff, sewer lines go, and that needs to be replaced, fixed, upgraded and stuff, because they flush some of their clothes down there and stops everything up. So.
Now you had mentioned that the problems with leaking. Do we know how? I mean, does the roof need to be replaced overall in these facilities?
Yes, it would be nice to have it replaced. Now, like I said, we have had it repaired twice in the last 3 years, I believe, but it would be nice to have a new roof.
Is there any idea how much it would cost to put a new roof on the police headquarters?
I don't think we've had an actual estimate on that, so I'm not quite sure how much that would cost. The one point that I would like to make is that you saw the modular unit that we had. One of the things that we're looking at obviously is an annex, and an annex has been in the planning for a little over 10 years now. But the fact of the matter is we're just out of space. We have 22 officers that are working, or 22 personnel that are working out of the annex, and it was designed to be temporary. There's no restroom facilities, no water fountains, with that idea in mind. So I know in our last capital improvements budget, we requested that they the city consider the annex or consider the possibility of a new building, whichever is more cost effective.
And I understand that the annex is also susceptible to flooding underneath it.
The modular unit, yes.
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 Well, we're looking at the garage unit right now. Tell us a little bit about this facility.
Well, this is just where we pull our patrol cars in, and if we have someone that's combative or whatever, we close the garage door. That way they can't escape. And we actually kind of use it as a storage area also for the found bicycles, and then I think you saw some of our tissue out there in the garage. We just haven't moved it over to the other building.
Well, let's talk just a little bit about funding options. I mean, what are some of the options to fund these types of projects for these needed upgrades?
Well, for the last few years, we've been looking at the public safety sales tax that was passed in 2004. That will come up for renewal in 2014. So, we've been looking at that as one of our funding sources. That, in addition to some grant money, and in addition to some general revenue money.
And for instance, some of these other technology upgrades have been in most cases have been grant funded.
Most all of it has been grant funded. In fact, at least 90% of it has been.
What do you see as some of the biggest shortcomings of the current facilities?
Space. As I mentioned, it is just space. We just don't have room for people. I'd love to be able to have some volunteers. We've had people that have offered to volunteer their service just to come in, maybe follow up on some misdemeanor cases, but we don't have a place to put them. We don't have a desk or a chair or a telephone that we can give them to do anything.
We've been talking today with Cape Girardeau Police Chief Carl Kinnison and Captain Jack Wimp. Thank you so much for coming by. It's been a pleasure talking with both of you.
Well, it's our pleasure.